You know, you can take your time picking the right words for a resume, but you have less time to choose your words during a face-to-face job interview. So what do you do to improve those communication skills? Well, Randy Wooden's the director of the Professional Center by Goodwill. He's here to talk about tackling the tough interview questions. Good morning to you.
Hi, good morning.
You know, it's a difficult thing to go face-to-face with somebody. You're nervous.
Yes.
And sometimes you don't do the right thing, right?
Absolutely. And sometimes you get hit with difficult questions, whether it's an everyday conversation or during an interview, and how you respond in those tense, sometimes challenging question situations.
Right.
That may dictate whether you get the job or not, how you handle stress. And so we'll talk a little bit today about the verbal presentation.
Okay.
Now, I've talked before, as I use my hands to talk, but we've talked before that 55% of interpersonal communication is your body language.
Okay.
38% is the tone of voice, only 7% the words you use. So don't get too hung up on the actual words. It's more how you deliver those, your tone of voice.
You've talked in the past about using cushions.
Yes.
Is that something that plays into it?
A good cushion that we use every day is, well, and then we go into our answer. But if somebody says, Randy, I see you haven't worked in 8 months, or I see you've had 6 jobs in the last 8 years. Well, that's a challenging question for me. It's something I wish weren't the case,
right,
but they're going to ask. And so a cushion, by definition, is something that you would say or do to show respect for the question, meaning I'll get to it. It also allows me time to think about what I'm going to say.
How do you say? How are you going to respond to that?
And to drop defenses, to show that you didn't rattle me. So, for example, I might say, I get that question from time to time, or if I'm in your shoes, I'd have the same question. Let me explain. And then you go into your answer.
But that's not the,
like, you know, for sure.
That's
really,
not a cushion.
Really, like, yeah.
Right. That's not a cushion. Though,
you know,
right? Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, that's, no.
That's stalling.
Be aware of those filler words. Have somebody, a relative or a friend, even if it's nothing more than snap their fingers or a clicker or something, to make you aware of that as you're in everyday speech. And once you become aware of it, then hopefully you can eliminate those, but those are a bit of a challenge for people.
What about this pace and things like that? Is this a time where you speed up, slow down? What do you do?
A tone of voice. You want to slow down slightly to sound a little more professional, especially if you're on the phone, because they can't see your body language.
Yeah, that's
they
a whole
can
different
only
deal,
hear you.
right?
Exactly. And so slow down, smile. I even tell people, dress up a little bit. It makes you feel more professional.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah, and because you're on the phone, you could lay out your war room, so to speak, where you have your notes and company history and all of that. So you have all of that information in front of you, and you can sound authoritative and also conversational at the same time.
On those telephone interviews, sometimes I think people are almost kicked back, and you sound that way. You take on that tone, and you're right about feeling the part during a telephone interview.
38% tone of voice, and if all you have to go on is your tone of voice and you're on the phone, again, avoid the filler words, slow down slightly, and be aware to not be monotone or too talk like this, or and all of that. Keep your mind in the game, and you'll do fine.
Hey, we're going to have Randy's contact information in just a second, but you've got some events coming up, and people pre-register for those, and
everything we do is free. We have, every month we bring in HR executives and recruiters to host a group event, whether it's mock interviewing or just panel discussions, so you can pick the brain of people on the other side of the desk. If somebody's interested, it's free, but they need to send their resume to me. We'll provide the information, the time and date and that sort of thing, so that we have an idea of head count, and we're happy to talk with anybody and help anybody, because that's really what Goodwill does.
Great information, Randy. Thanks very much. And Randy said, as he mentioned there, you need to pre-register for these events. You can do that by going to goodwillprofessionalcenter.org. That's the website. Give Randy a call at 336-464-0516, or email might be the easiest way, procenter@goodwillnwnc.org.